harassed.
Like if I'm by myself with kids and I would be chased and followed.
And for a person to try to value that based upon your race is bad. It's trauma.
This Colorado rancher has experienced overwhelming amounts of racism for more than 2 years.
My full name is Courtney Wayne Mallory. I go by CW. I'm a farmer/rancher out in East Colorado.
CW Mallory and his family have been farming in East Colorado since August 2020. They moved after a hurricane destroyed the Houston ranch that CW was working on.
We looked around in different states, across the whole state, kind of settled here in Colorado. Like I say, it chose me. I really didn't choose it, but it was something that pulled me to it. It was just freedom. It was Freedom Acres Ranch, that's kind of where we started.
However, instead of being able to live and work in peace, Mallory's family has endured frequent aggressive threats from the community.
Well, the harassment initially began when I first procured the property. I was approached by an individual that stated that the property was theirs. And I had to tell them that, no, I was the new owner here, that this is my property. They then proceeded to tell me that they shoot dogs and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'm the new owner here. I own dogs, don't shoot my dogs. That was the initial start of it from there.
Yeah, it was a black dude with land. And these people, they just hate black people. And so many people want to claim that racism doesn't exist in America anymore. No, we got a black farmer who is being harassed because he's black.
And people, hanging around the fence line on the property, taking and cutting my fence line and stuff like that, stealing water, throwing the trash, theft of utilities pretty much, and dumping. My property became a dump ground.
In fact, we still be strong and we go out and we contribute to the community. We feed them. We go out and we do the things that people wouldn't do for us, and we still get criticized for it. Even some of the people we help are like turning their backs. And it's, like I said, it's trauma.
According to CW, the following and harassment hasn't stopped, despite the public attention Mallory's story has drawn.
The support has gotten better. The support has been amazing. The more we get, the harder they are stalking, fighting, terrorizing, being hateful, and being racist to try to get us to a point, I guess, we're all alone again, so they can continue to terrorize us. We've had maybe 50 people here within the last few weeks, and each one of them is so unfortunate, but we are so thankful that they'll still come. But each one of them had an experience with being stalked and terrorized by someone in the community.
This is just a part of the Mallory story. Check out episode 2 to see what happened when they...
Here's part 2 of the Mallory family and their story of their harassment for their race.
It's like we're in a war zone.
You can't rely on people in authority to protect and serve, us and be fair with us.
To be hunted.
Yeah, well, when the cops are also racist, yeah, you can't expect much from them when you're black, because they're just going to harass you as well and protect those that are also harassing you.
Not only from locals who can't understand that black people can own land, but from sheriff's department. I think it's the most hurtful, especially as someone who took an oath.
Facing frequent threats and racism from the local community, the Mallorys sought help from the local police. However, their situation only got worse.
They come, it's just repeated. Can't protect our property. Someone jumped the fence and they were at the front door and I was naked. And I did what I'm trained to do to protect myself and the land. And ultimately this person was let go because they were white. And I was ultimately charged simply for protecting myself when someone had blocked locked us in the driveway, falsely imprisoned me. I was naked. They recorded me.
They just failed me, you know what I mean? And just continued to fail me, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, like my life doesn't matter. Like what I'm saying to you doesn't matter.
Per the Denver Post, local law enforcement has reportedly received more than 170 calls related to the Mallorys over the past 2 years. CW and his family claim these calls are rooted in racism. As of April 2023, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has not arrested anyone for the harassment the Mallorys have experienced. On February 6, CW was arrested and detained for 2 days.
It was a Monday morning, just feeding the animals, doing stuff on the ranch, getting materials, and I don't know, they just said that they were taking him. He had a warrant for his arrest for felony stalking, is what they said, and there was a $2,000 bond.
More than likely, they made up the charge. Funny how they can arrest this dude for some bogus charge, but they can't actually go after any of the other people actually harassing the Mallory family. It's no surprise there, being that the cops are racist.
Are you guys going to be holding him and making sure he's okay?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm Trooper State Control. That's my contact info.
Okay.
He's going to be going in there. He'll be processed.
Okay.
There is a bond on the warrant.
What's
so
the bond?
You can bond out. I believe it's $2,000.
They allege that CW was a threat to the community. The gentleman that fed the community, that just worked with animals and farmed while Black, had nothing more than a speeding ticket. They allege that he was a threat to the community, and so they increased the bond amount to $6,000.
Wow, so he's a threat to the community because he's a Black man. This is how racist white people see Black people. They're a threat no matter what you do, what we do. It's the fact that we have a different color skin. We are considered a threat.
Let your followers know how you're doing right now.
I'm not well.
Okay.
This is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of the hate crimes and the false accusations that officer makes.
I thought my life was gonna end, you know what I mean, through some mysterious, some weird circumstances, you know, because they threatened to hang, lynch me, block me in here, set me on fire.
During a press conference held by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office on February 14th, Sheriff Joseph Roybal confirmed that stalking was one of 3 charges listed on CW's warrant, and called the previous online reports misinformation and mischaracterization.
I recognize we are human and we can always strive to do better. To that point, approximately a week ago, I directed my staff to review all reports taken and ensure we have done everything we should have during our response to these calls.
Well, yeah, but you haven't, not when it came to hoping the Mallorys. And we all know that cops routinely falsify documents and records in order to stick charges to people, or, you know, create some kind of a reason to arrest Black people.
This review found 2 events where we as an office could have done more during our investigation.
CW is calling for an official investigation into the link between hate crimes and the sheriff's office. He believes investigating the department would help combat the harassment.
I feel like if this is America and I pay taxes and I am funding the police departments, funding these roads and things like that, I should be able to live anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world.
The whole point of Freedom Acres Ranch was to teach the next generation of farming, but also for our family to see. We all come from an inner city, so we've never seen this amount of acreage, much less owned by young Black people. And so having this, when representation matters, it's important to every Black and brown boy and girl in this United States that's watching, because now we're on social media and they are watching. And so they're watching what we do, and we have to set an example. And the example is just, it's not to run.
Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option.